Hi Year 2, our fact of the day today is 7 times 2 is 14. I'm just going to correct that 4 because we don't like 4s that look like that. So that means if you have 7 sets of 2, you get to 14. So we haven't been counting these recently, so we're just going to go back and check by counting in 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then if you swap the numbers, you have 2 sets of 7 also makes 14. And so the 2 pictures are showing you the number fact. So if we want to turn that into a subtraction, we put the big number first, the 14. And then if we divide it into 2s, just like the picture shows, you'll have 7 2s. And if we have the 14 and divide it into 7s, it will give us 2 7s, and hopefully you're getting really good now at making the mega facts. So if we had 2 70s, remember the just add a 0 rule, we've got our 14, then if we put the 0, we've got 140. So if you had 70 add 70 or double 70, you'd have 140 altogether. And to make the other facts, you can swap the small numbers, then you can change the 0, instead put it on the 2. So 27s would also be 140, or you could have 7 20s, and that would also be 140. And then you can go over to the other side and use those to divide. So how many 70s do you think are going to be in 140? There will be 2, because we said double 70 is 140. And how many 2s? There will be 70. So all of these ones, you're swapping the numbers around, but you do have to make sure they still make sense. Can we fit one more down the bottom? Let's do 170 divided into 7s, and there will be 27s. And if you look, the zeros still have to match up. So the challenge would be, what about 2 700s? If you had a 700 and a 700, how much would that make all together? I think most of you could probably write those now without me having to do anything, with me just giving you the fact like we do in class, and you have to write them in your book before they're on the board. So maybe tomorrow you could challenge yourself by pausing it before I write them all, and then see if you can get as many as I do. So our TRP for this morning is, can I represent multiplication in different ways? Now we have already done that because we've been looking at the book about 10 was a crab and counting crab legs. We've been making pairs of things. Yesterday we were looking at pairs of socks, and we were looking at counters in groups, or we've been looking at Numicon that we've been using a lot. So up here we've got a picture. 2 groups of 5 counters makes 10 counters altogether. And hopefully you know by now that that would be 2 sets of 5 equals 10. Now one of the ways we're going to look at is using a number line. Now this is tricky because obviously you haven't got number lines at the moment. You might have a ruler at home. I think we might be trying to send some number lines home, but I'm going to show you how you can use a number line to represent multiplication. So we've got 3 characters here. We've got a frog, and he's going to be times 2. We've got an antelope or a gazelle, and we'll say that that one's times 5. And we've got a cheetah, and he's going to stand for times 10. So they're sort of in order of how fast they are. So if I use the frog, I'm going to pull him down here. He can only jump in 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we can use him to show the 2 times table. So if I think of a 2 times multiplication, let's maybe have a go at our fact of the day, where we had 7 sets of 2. 7 sets of 2. And let's show him jumping. Oops. He's already drawing. He can't draw at the same time as jump, can he? So he's going to start always on 0. So he's got to jump 7 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he'll end up on 14. Now I'm going to draw that as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he ends up on 14. Now the gazelle is going to jump in 5s, in multiples of 5. So we need 3 jumps of 5 to find out what 3 times 5 is. Done the scribble again. So that's 1 jump of 5, 2 jumps of 5, 3 jumps of 5. And so if I draw those jumps, you start from 0. So 1 jump of 5, 2 jumps of 5, 3 jumps of 5. And so 3 times 5 equals 15. Last of all, we've got the cheetah. And so he jumps in jumps of 10. So we've got 2 jumps of 10 for 2 times 10. So that's not going to take very long, is it? 1 jump of 10, 2 jumps of 10. And if I draw that, we've got 1 jump of 10, 2 jumps of 10. So 2 times 10 equals 20. So let's see if we can use this number line to work out 7 times 2. So I'm going to start on 0 and I'm going to be jumping in 2s. So that's 1, 2, 2 2s, 3 2s, 4 2s, 5 2s, 6 2s, 7 2s. If I put a circle around that, so we've got 7 times 2 equals 14. We've got 7 jumps and there are 2 in each jump. Now you could work that out the other way around. It would be trickier because counting in 7s is a bit trickier. So if underneath, if I start on 0, I'm going to jump all the way to 7 and then all the way to 14. So that's 2 jumps with 7 in each jump and it is still 14. So let's try it with a multiple that we haven't practiced before. Let's try 4 times 3. So we're going to start off by counting in the 3s. We're going to do 4 jumps and there's got to be 3 in each jump. So I'm going to start at 0. It's 1 jump of 3, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps, and the answer is 12. 4 jumps, 3 in each jump makes 12. Let's try that the other way round. Let's try 3 times 4. And this is going to be tricky because I've got to put 4 in each jump. So I'm going to start at 0 again, and this time I'm going to start off jumping to 4. Then I need another jump of 4, and then another jump of 4, and it still ends up in exactly the same place because 3 times 4 is 12 and 4 times 3 is 12. Now, when I looked at children's books last year, when they'd had a go at counting multiplication using a number line, there were a few that looked a bit like this. And that's why I've got the shocked looking minion there with the exclamation mark. Now, this answer is wrong, but I wonder if you can see why it's wrong. How did they get that wrong? Now, you might know that 6 times 2 can't be 11 because 11 is an odd number. But if you look at the number line, that's how they were working it out. See if you can see where they made their mistake. So if you look, they haven't counted in even jumps. Remember, multiplication always has to be equal groups. They have to be the same. And this one here, that, whoops, is not a 2, is it? It's just a 1. So they've counted in, there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 1, there's another 2, there's another 2. So it's not going to give them the right answer. So if you're using a number line to count for multiplication, your jumps have got to all be the same or you won't get the correct answer. So he's had another go now. He's actually wobbling with excitement because he's got it right. So if you look, he's now jumped in equal jumps of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and now he's got the correct answer. 6 times 2 equals 12, and you could check that by doing it the other way around. Let's jump in 6s. There's a 6, and there's another 6. 2 6s are also 12. So make sure your jumps are equal. Now the first task is a bit tricky, so you may well need a grown-up to help you with this. So don't worry if you can't do this one. And that's to have a go at drawing a number line in your maths book, the one with the squares. Now you definitely need a ruler for this. And I think we did give you a ruler in the pack last time. So if you've still got your ruler, what I've done an example here. You can use the squares with a ruler to make yourself a line that goes from 0 to 20. Now if you're one of those lucky people with neat handwriting, you can then put the numbers on the lines, and make sure you write them on the lines, not in the square for once. Normally we say write them in the squares. This time I want them not in the squares, on the lines. So have a go. Either you or a grown-up can make you a number line from 0 to 20, and then I want you to choose a times, a multiplication number sentence to draw on your number line. So which one could I do? I might do 3 times 3 on this one. 3 times 3. I'm going to start at 0. There's 1 jump of 3, 2 jumps of 3, 3 jumps of 3, and so that would equal 9. Now if you've chosen one that's got 2 different numbers, you could draw the other version underneath, but 3 times 3, there's only one way of drawing that. So that's your first challenge. Now if that's too tricky, the second challenge is going to be using pictures to show a multiplication number sentence. So I'm going to choose my multiplication number sentence first. Let's choose the same one I just did. I could choose 3 times 3. So that tells us how many sets we need. 1, 2, 3. And then that tells us how many need to be in each set. So let's draw, I might draw some flowers. 1, 2, 3, 1. So you can choose what you want to draw, but remember the groups have to be equal. So we've got 3 sets with 3 flowers in each, and all together we have 9 flowers. So this time I chose 5 times 4, so I needed to draw 5 sets, and there needed to be 4 things in each set, and then to find the answer you need to count all the things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 all together. And last of all, I've got 2 times 6, which is 2 sets with 6 in each. So you can just draw circles or triangles. You don't have to do anything fancy. You can do them in different colours if you want. So 2 sets of 6 is a 6 and a 6, which if we counted them all makes 12. So I want you to have a go, and you can choose any multiplication you like. So you can make it as challenging as you like. If you want to do 3 times 8 and do a times table that we don't do in year 2, that's fine as well. So I look forward to seeing what you've managed to draw.